Although none of the coronavirus vaccines under development has proved its efficacy yet in clinical trials, at least 5.7 billion doses have been pre-ordered around the world. First shipment of COVID-19 vaccine created by Western laboratories have often been snapped up by the United States. 5 vaccines, 3 Western and 2 Chinese, are in phase 3 efficiency trials involving thousands of people. In a surprise announcement, Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed Tuesday that a vaccine dubbed Sputnik V after the Soviet satellite conferred sustainable immunity against the novel coronavirus. Brazil's Parana state is in talks to produce a COVID-19 vaccine approved by Russia despite not having completed mass clinical trials. President Vladimir Putin announced Tuesday Russia has become the first country in the world to approve a vaccine for the coronavirus. Although he said the vaccine had passed all the required controls, noting that one of his daughters had already tested it, it's not on the World Health Organization's list of vaccines that have reached phase 3 clinical trials, which involve more widespread testing in humans. According to the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, as many as 60,963 new coronavirus cases in India in the last 24 hours, taking the total cases to over 2,300,000. 834 new coronavirus deaths reported in India, and the cumulative toll has reached 46,091. The total number of coronavirus cases has climbed to 23,029,639, including 6,043,948 active cases, 16,039,600 cured, discharged, and migrated. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR), 7,033,439 samples, the highest so far, were tested for COVID-19. New Zealand's looming general election could be delayed. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern warned Wednesday as the shock re-emergence of the coronavirus sent the country's largest city into lockdown and forced nursing homes nationwide to shut their doors. Premier Ardern said authorities were scrambling to trace anyone who had been in contact with 4 Auckland residents whose positive test on Tuesday ended the country's envied run of 102 days without community transmission. A 3-day stay-at-home order for Auckland, a city of 1.5 million people, went into force at lunchtime on Wednesday, ending weeks of near normality when thousands had flocked to restaurants and filled rugby stadiums. Iraq's foreign ministry said in a statement Iraq cancelled on Wednesday the Turkish defense minister's visit to the country, which was scheduled for Thursday. The statement added the ministry also summoned the Turkish ambassador to hand him a strong protest note and inform him of Iraq's confirmed rejection of his country's attacks and violations. The Iraqi military said a Turkish drone strike on Tuesday in the Sidakan area in northeastern Iraq, near the Turkish and Iranian borders, killed 2 members of Iraq's border guard and the driver of the vehicle they were in. The UN Special Coordinator for Lebanon called on Lebanese authorities Wednesday to rapidly form a new government following the resignation of Prime Minister Hassan Diab and his cabinet. In a statement, Jan Kubayis called for the formation of a new government that meets the aspirations of the Lebanese people and enjoys their support and can address the urgent and immediate challenges facing the country. Kubayis also stressed the importance of avoiding a prolonged period of governmental vacuum. The Health Ministry said Wednesday the death toll from Beirut's massive August 4th explosion has climbed to 171. Outgoing Lebanese Health Minister Hassan Hamad said that the number of missing people ranges between 30 and 40. The new figure, up from 160, came exactly 1 week since the mega blast ravaged swathes of the Lebanese capital, wounding more than 6,000 and temporarily displacing 300,000 people from their homes. A U.S. cabinet member visited a shrine to Taiwan's late President Lee Teng-hui Wednesday, praising his role in steering the island's transition to democracy as he capped a historic trip to the island with his royal China. Health Chief Alex Azar is on a 3-day visit to Taiwan that Washington has billed as its highest-level delegation since the U.S. switched diplomatic recognition to China in 1979. His visit comes as U.S.-China relations plunge to historic lows, with the two powers clashing over a wide range of issues from trade to military and security issues, human rights, and the coronavirus pandemic. South Korean media reported Wednesday Seoul and Washington will kick off their annual joint military drills this week, but without mobilizing U.S.-based troops after scaling back the program due to COVID-19 concerns. The allies have been discussing how to adjust the exercises, which usually begin in August, with the coronavirus threatening to disrupt the travel of U.S. personnel. According to news reports, the exercises will be held from August 16th to 28th, but in a reduced scale, though the time frame was extended by a couple of days to disperse participants and minimize night activities. Joe Biden has named California Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate, making history by selecting the first black woman to compete on a major party's presidential ticket and acknowledging the vital role black voters will play in his bid to defeat President Donald Trump. In choosing Harris, Biden is embracing a former rival from the Democratic Party who is familiar with the unique rigor of a national campaign. The 55-year-old first-term senator, who is also of South Asian descent, is one of the party's most prominent figures. She quickly became a top contender for the number 2 spot after her own White House campaign ended. The European Union declared Wednesday that the Belarus presidential election that returned President Alexander Lukashenko to the office had been neither free nor fair. In a statement from EU chief diplomat Joseph Borrell, on behalf of EU members, the bloc threatened measures on those responsible for the observed violence, unjustified arrests, and falsification of election results. Belarus went to the polls Sunday against a backdrop of large-scale opposition protests against President Lukashenko's rule, but the official electoral commission declared him the winner. A team of United Nations experts have arrived on the island nation of Mauritius to aid efforts to prevent an oil spill from further damaging its pristine environment. Salvage crews were in a race against the clock as they pumped fuel from the stricken Japanese-owned bulk carrier MV Wakashiyu, which ran aground on a coral reef last month and began leaking oil 5 days ago. Authorities have warned the boat could split in two at any moment, with cracks in the hull growing larger by day. Japan has dispatched a 6-member team, including members of its Coast Guard, to assist. Official figures showed Wednesday Britain's economy shrank by a record 20.4% between April and June, when the coronavirus lockdown was tightest, the largest contraction reported by any major economy so far. The data also showed the world's 6th biggest economy entered a recession as it shrank for a second quarter in a row. The Office for National Statistics said there were signs of a recovery in the month of June alone, when gross domestic product grew by 8.7% from May. Asian stocks dipped on Wednesday on growing uncertainty over whether the U.S. lawmakers would agree on an additional round of big fiscal stimulus to support an economy still struggling with the novel coronavirus. Hopes of vaccine development, however, prompted some investors to reduce safe haven assets such as gold and government bonds and to buy back battered stocks of companies hit hardest by the virus. The mixed sentiment has led to choppy trade in Asia, with the index of companies hit hardest by the virus.